Plug Power stock is down 97% off its highs that were reached in 2021. Does that mean the stock is a buy for 2025? I'm going to answer that question in this video, looking at the company's recent years' revenue growth, cash flow from operations improvement, operating profit margin improvements, and finally comparing that against the valuation to determine if Plug Power stock is a buy heading into 2025. And of course, I'll also incorporate the latest developments of its funding from the Department of Energy.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So like I mentioned earlier, Plug Power stock is down significantly off its high water mark that it reached in 2021. It's now down 97% off its high. Of course, I've had Plug Power stock rated as a sell for several years now, and I'll update that recommendation in this video and let you know if I still think it's a sell or if I think it's a hold or buy for 2025. Now, looking at the company's trailing 12-month revenue, 659 million was the latest update, but you'll notice that it's actually declining. It's not actually a growth stock because it doesn't demonstrate consistent growth. And I suspect that its growth will continue declining. One of the reasons is because management said it's going to be more selective in the contracts. A couple of years ago, management was more interested in signing contracts with big name companies like Amazon and Walmart so that it can hype up those deals to investors, even if those deals were not very lucrative for Plug Power. Companies like Plug Power will oftentimes make deals with companies like Amazon and Walmart because it's a big name, and they'll tell Amazon, look, we'll sell you our products at a price that's going to cost us to lose money on the bottom line. But we just want to be able to announce that we have a deal with you, right? And so I cautioned investors about those kinds of arrangements with companies like Plug Power. It's one of the reasons why I've had the stock rated as a sell. Even when a couple of years ago, there was a lot of hype and enthusiasm from investors regarding those deals. They were excited, like, oh my gosh, look, they have a deal with Amazon. They have a deal with this other large company. They have a deal with this company, right? And so it gets investors excited because the company makes that announcement. But what investors fail to recognize are the details of those arrangements. Companies like Amazon and Walmart and others that have that strong negotiating power exercise that negotiating power and force companies like Plug Power to give them very lucrative deals that benefit the larger company and come to the detriment of companies like Plug Power. You could see the operating profit margin over a trailing 12-month period is negative 163%, and it's only been getting worse in recent years. And part of the reason for that is because of the deals that it signs. It cannot sell its products at a price high enough to generate a profit, or it needs to sell the product at so large a scale that it's nowhere near reaching, and so it's still generating losses on the bottom line. And there is no hope for improvement on this metric. Maybe as the company renews and renegotiates some of these deals when the contracts expire, and it renegotiates these contracts at more reasonable terms instead of chasing after the hype from the announcement, maybe management will now be more prudent and just make deals only if it's reasonable for the company. Now that, investors are no longer falling for those types of announcements from Plug Power. That's now behind it. It already tried to gain that kind of momentum and enthusiasm from the investor community, and that's now behind it. Investors are now smarter than that. They've now realized that this company is in real big trouble, and it's basically its survival prospects depend on the government, the Department of Energy, and other government entities giving them money, giving them grants or low-cost loans to keep them afloat while they try to find some way to operate this business sustainably, which they haven't been able to do. And I'm not confident that they will be able to do that. I haven't seen a path to profitability for Plug Power and some of the other companies like Plug Power. But in this video, I'll focus my discussion on Plug Power. And so similar to the negative operating margin, the company's cash flow from operations are significantly negative, negative 840 million in the most recent trailing 12-month period. If you compare that with the revenue of 659 million, the company is losing more in cash flow from operations than it's generating in revenue. Negative 840 million compared to 659 million in revenue. It's as though for every dollar in sales that they generate, they lose $1.50 in cash flow from operations. So it costs the company $2.50 to make $1 in sales. That's kind of a very simplified way to look at it, because there's some of those investments, some of those money that they're spending are going to have longer term benefits. But just to kind of provide a summary of the operations of the business, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. They're losing too much money per dollar of sales for this to be any kind of sustainable business, and it's not growing. So the demand for its products, even at these prices, is not great. So you're losing this much money because you're selling your product at such a low price to attract sales. And even at this low price, that's costing your company to lose so much money, it's not growing. And so that's really bad sign for investors, because imagine how much lower their sales are going to fall when they start having to charge a price that at least allows them to make progress towards profitability. So the valuation is the cheapest that it's been at a forward price to sales of 1.614, but there's a reason for that, right? The company has been going in the wrong direction and not improving, right? Depending on the government for handouts is not a sustainable business model, right? Going back to the government again and again and again, asking for more and more and more money, it's not a sustainable business model. Eventually, the government handouts will cease and the government will start to say, well, it doesn't look like your business is a viable business, so we're going to stop giving you money and we're going to allocate our funds to a business that has at least more potential than what you've demonstrated over the years. So to answer the question, is Plug Power stock a buy, hold, or a sell for 2025? I'm keeping it rated as a sell for 2025, and I'll probably keep it there until the company demonstrates more progress in developing the business model. Did you know that over 90% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed? It'll really help support my channel if you hit that subscribe button. And oh, by the way, one of the benefits of being subscribed is that I take requests from subscribers more often than I do from non-subscribers. So if you prefer that benefit, please subscribe to the channel.